Not muted anymore. Happy Monday. I hope you had a peaceful weekend and a peaceful day. Thank you for your patience. Had a bunch of meetings to do today, so hence I'm coming live a little bit later. But I hope this works still for everyone. And if you can't watch now, you can watch anytime hereafter. Also, your factual, actual news briefing will come to your email once we're done with this live stream as well. And first, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're keeping safe and sane, and despite everything that is going on. Since Friday, I had this weird situation because I do have to cover what's happening in Asia, and that's overnight. And then daily also some things happen. So it's sort of like a 24/7 situation lately, but this will be over soon. Hi, Jeremy. Hello. Hey, hello. Hi, Mike. Good evening, everyone. Yes, hi, Morgan. Hello. Happy Monday. How's your day going today? Hi, Jeremy. Good. Busy. So you guys, if you're Honest Plus members, or if you covered for us the No Kings protest, you're very welcome to join on Friday on Zoom, and I'll get into the details on the meetings and briefings and some good things happening, and let's discuss that off the record. Okay, if we may. And also, thank you again so much for being here. Thank you for following on Blue Sky, on X. And again, please comment, please ask questions, contribute to this broadcast, because that's all of us together discussing actual news and ensuring that you have the facts to make the best choices and opinions. All right. So over the weekend, yesterday specifically, I did stream the rally. It's we have in New York City, we're choosing our mayor. And so yesterday was a big rally in Forest Hills, which is part of Queens, New York, with Zoran Mamdani, who's currently leading the polls to become the next mayor of New York. He is seeing himself as democratic socialist. I'm still working on my piece where I want to fact check and put everything. So I listened to so many interviews of his, and he has many things that people do misunderstand, some things people don't really pay attention to, and then of course he's running against former Governor Cuomo, who has trust issues, likability issues, and all kinds of questions, and also Curtis Sliwa, which is he's known for running for mayor and certainly never winning, but certainly he's aligning more with the MAGA crowd. And I attended the debate also last week. But coming back to the rally yesterday, it was also it featured Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, and also Bernie Sanders. Some of you did question specifically Bernie Sanders and his presence there, and rightfully so, and we all have questions. But I wanted to share one moment where the current governor, Hochul, of New York, she spoke, and she was sort of like ending her speech, and then the entire stadium started chanting "Tax the Rich." And we know that "Tax the Rich" sort of was the phrase that was written on AOC's dress when she came to the Met Gala, right, a couple of years ago. And then Anna Wintour said that, well, she actually was seated with AOC at the same table and had a wonderful conversation. Only after that, she found out what was on her dress. And infamously, Anna Wintour didn't really like that. She's like, oh, it's not the time for political statements. But regardless, that phrase since then became very popular, specifically in New York. And check it out how it went down. And Hochul was sort of silenced by the chants. So far so that Mamdani had to come in a bit earlier and sort of like calm the crowd. I thought it was quite significant. So please take it.
I can hear you. Listen, I got one plea for you. I love to see this energy and this passion. And for those of you who've not been involved in the voting or even campaigns before, I am so excited about what is going on here. But I need you to do something. All right, one more thing, my friend. This is about this November's election, but take that energy, that passion, and take it into 26 so that we can take back the House of Representatives, take the Senate, and take back our country. With your help, we will. Elect Zoran, we take back America. Thank you, Queens. Thank you, New York. God love you guys.
And so infamously, this phrase made into every single right-wing outlet this morning, where she said, elect Zoran and take America back. And they said, oh, Zoran is the sort of the highlight of the DNC. Certainly, he wasn't born here. I listened to his interviews. He said he came to America when he was 7. So, yeah, it's a stretch. But altogether, I mean, she felt a bit out of place and certainly silenced there. So I just wanted to show you where the phrase came from, because it's really on the covers of a bunch of those right-wing outlets, newspapers and magazines. So we kind of know where it came from. Also, what yesterday I wanted to stream, it was promised, the access was promised to the live stream, the footage, everything. And then suddenly it was completely off, I think, because they have heard something from the current administration and were told to be extra careful. I'm still we're working on getting the full video and full footage. And I'm talking about President Joe Biden, former president of the United States, being honored with Lifetime Achievement Award by the Edward Kennedy Institute in Boston. And so, yes, it was scheduled to be live, and we all sat there, and it's supposed to be right after the rally. And you folks were asking, and you're like, oh my God, when is it coming? I don't know what's going on. Same here. And then I was chatting with the NBC Boston. They're like, no, we're running actually Taylor Swift special. We don't have the footage. Fox Live, which is sort of like Fox News owned channel, but it's sort of live streaming every single thing, including Democratic also and liberal events as well. And they didn't have the footage either. And then we got the phrases, and then we got some of the clips. So I want to show you one of the clips that we got and then read out loud a few quotes from yesterday's speech by President Biden. Altogether, it was very timely. I wish he was as timely when he was president and he was welcoming Trump back home, as he said, before inauguration as well. But take a look what he said yesterday.
Folks, we can't kid ourselves. We are in one of those moments right now. In my over 50 years in elected public life, this is the worst I've seen it. If Ted were here today, he'd still be fighting like hell. But his optimism would be surely tested. Because truth be told, our very democracy is at stake, in my view. We all agree that our politics is broken, that political violence, never acceptable, is out of hand, that America should be a place not of extremism and fury, but of decency and grace, that our institutions are what makes us the envy of the world, and our democracy is worth fighting like hell for.
And Irene, thank you so much for being here. Tidy Whitey, thank you for being here. Thank you for being Honest Plus members. And Irene's just mentioned censorship. Oh, what's next? And this was really censorship in real time. And this is an institute. And by the way, I'm so slow appearing here. Am I slow? Am I frozen? Let me know. I'll restart the whole thing. So honestly, we all sat there. Everything was scheduled. Everything's supposed to start on time and be on time. And then nothing happened, right? And as of now, today, we are still receiving like clip here and quote there and all that kind of stuff. And meanwhile, so some highlights that I want to read out. So first, President Biden said, "We remain in a battle for the soul of our nation, in my view. That means we, all of us, I mean all of us, have enormous responsibility to protect the institutions on which the fate of our nation rests. No one gets a pass on standing up to the bullies." Then he adds, "Friends, I can't sugarcoat any of this. These are dark days, but we are one of the only countries in the world that time and again has come out of every crisis. We faced stronger than when we went into that crisis." And then he closed with the following words: "It's time to get back up. Above all else, get back up. Get back up, America. Get up now." So, Tidy Whitey says, yes, there's some lag. Do you guys want to hang on for a minute and I restart? Because I really see myself, being a little bombastic, and I want to show you a bunch of videos, and you don't want to see Trump dancing in slow motion, because I don't think that is forgivable. Okay, let me put this thing up. I'll be back in 1 minute. So please hang on. Do you want me to play some music or silence? Whatever. Let me play some music. I'll be back. Okay, I'm here. Let's test it. Test. Oh, that's better. Much better. Yes. Vogue. Yes. Good. Perfect. Because literally, I have a video of Trump dancing in Malaysia, like that in slow motion. Also, instead of American anthem, bunch of times they played Rocky Balboa music in Malaysia. Did you notice? I have a clip of that too. So none of that is enjoyable in slow motion. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Yes. Awesome. Thank you for sticking with me. All right. So did you hear what Biden said, right? So he finished his speech with, "It's time to get back up. Above all else, get back up, America. Get up now." Yes. If you know me, I respect Joe Biden. I respect his administration. I covered it. I was White House correspondent through all this time. I wish he would have said that before he gave, metaphorically speaking, Trump the keys of the White House. He did have the immunity. He could have raised any questions. He could have raised questions about the election. He could have raised questions about anything. He could have pushed those in charge to prosecute those who needed to be prosecuted, if you know what I mean. But he didn't. So yes, this sounds a bit late, but yet he does meet the moment at this point. So I'll let you decide what you want to think about it. Jess Lindy, hello. Thank you for being here. I was just showing a clip from former President Biden's speech yesterday from Boston. I'll post it as well. So next, what I want to talk about. Oh, actually, I do have a clip from Hunter Biden. Remember, recently he gave an interview where everybody sort of fell in love with him. But he, this time, gave another interview where he spoke about how Joe Biden currently feels and what he's focusing on. And I think we're all sort of engaged and interested, and certainly praying for him to feel better and recover. So please take a look.
For whatever reason, and I'm not defending it or not defending it, it pissed me off, is they did not give him a PSA. And so by the time he did go in complaining after he left the White House, like 4 or 5 months after, I guess, is that they did, and he had stage 4 prostate cancer that had developed into metastatic bone cancer, which means that the cancer had left the prostate. And metastatic bone cancer, it's the very, very early stages, and so they can stop it, meaning through treatment, which is a combination of hormone therapy and radiation. They can stop it, and so and that's what he's doing. And so like here's another thing. How many people do you know that have cancer? How many people do you know that had cancer? How many people do you know? I mean, we all go through it. It's not in any way unique. My dad and I. This is the thing that I always say to people, particularly people of my dad's generation, is that, like, it's no longer, like, it's the universal condition. And so we all have to start talking about it more, and largely talking about it more. Strangely enough, I was chairman of the board of the National Prostate Cancer Coalition for like a 5-year period of time, way back 20 years ago when Michael Milken started. And it was all about, awareness. And because the crazy part about prostate cancer is that if you catch it early, it's 100%, survivable. And this is survivable, but it's, radiation is not fun.
Yeah.
But God, he's an animal. He's just unstoppable. I mean, you see him, you look at him, you know what I mean? He's out, you see him, whether he was golfing yesterday or whether he was, at mass, or whether he's out with my mom to dinner, or whether he's at the Phillies game, or whether he's going to Nantucket with us in, Thanksgiving. Like, my dad's just living his life. He's writing his book and making speeches.
So, and hence, what President Biden is focusing on right now. Now, back to news. Last night, we learned that actually, in fact, 2 U.S. Navy aircraft went down in South China Sea. All crew survived, which is the best news. But here's the details. October 26th at 2:45 p.m. local time, U.S. Navy MH-60R Seahawk helicopter from Helicopter Maritime Strike Squadron HSM-73 went down in South China Sea while conducting routine operations from USS Nimitz. Now, search and rescue team safely recovered all 3 crew members. Then, just about 30 minutes later, 3:15 p.m. local time, F-18 Super Hornet fighter jet assigned to fighting Redcocks of Strike Fighter Squadron 22 also went down in the same waters during routine operations. Both crew members also ejected safely and were recovered. Now, thankfully, nobody got hurt or in any way suffered, but they managed to do this. But the question remains, now this is about 2 days before Trump is meeting with Xi Jinping, and those 2 aircraft are actually what the United States is trying to sell to our allies, specifically F-18. Altogether, the damage yesterday, just because of those 2 aircraft going down, was around $100 million. But if you think about it, we're selling F-18. Canada is considering it. Turkey was considering it. And why I'm saying was, because today they made their decision and they bought worth of 8 billion pounds of a version of a British aircraft. And I'll have a full readout on that. So this was a sort of a fast development. But again, whether it is related or not remains to be seen, but I'm trying to connect the dots as to China also started conducting some training around Vietnam, again, yesterday. Then this thing, whether it was jamming, perhaps it was even weather, perhaps it's all not related at all, but it is, hella suspicious. Let's leave it at that. I also have a readout on what Trump said on that, and he was speaking from Air Force One last night at our local or Eastern time in US, 3 a.m. in the morning. And I had the pleasure of listening to that for 2 hours and documenting it. And I have a readout on that. And I have a longer readout, which I posted this morning on the Onest Network newsroom website. So you can read it. And the shorter version will come soon. But what I want to talk about as well, that remember, we discussed this whole idea with, at this point, potential sanctions on Russia's major 2 oil companies, Lukoil and Rosneft. Why potential? Because all of this is currently in the winding down period, and any sanctions, if they do remain, will be applicable starting November 21st for U.S. assets of such companies and November 28th for British assets. Okay, so at this point, nobody is affected. What has been affected is the price per share of such companies. And then you saw a Russian sovereign fund buying out those shares, which leads to them essentially privatizing their national resources and those publicly traded companies. Then Dmitriev, right, the Kiev-born but Putler's head of their national security or national sovereign fund, came to New York City where he met with Witkoff. He also made the round on mainstream media for some reason. CNN, ABC, NBC, MSNBC, they wanted to hear from him, where he spread propaganda saying that Ukraine is not willing to negotiate, Russia is not doing anything to Ukraine. And in fact, it's Ukrainian authorities who keep killing children in kindergartens. Complete nonsense. But he also brought a gift, and he made sure to put it all over his social media. And I want to show you this gift because no media is focusing on it. And I think this is just so inefficient when it comes to coverage, because all of this crap matters. He posted in Russian on his Instagram and other social media. He said some chocolates from Russia for US. And this I gave in New York, right? And this sort of are chocolates with, it says, great words by the grand human. And certainly you see here Putin, and then the little boxes, we don't leave ours behind, which has been the saying by Russians, that they don't leave their fallen soldiers behind. In fact, which they do. They rarely even make sure to bring the remains of such soldiers to their loved ones, or those who wanted the payouts when they send them to the front lines. But here are the chocolates, and I want to read out what those say, because perhaps you don't really necessarily speak Russian. So, and we're going to go from left to right, from up to down, so from left to right, right? So, first one is, Russia is a country that doesn't fear anything. Then the world is changing, so climbing in and out of the windows is wrecking your pants isn't a good idea. The less teeth you have, the more you love porridge. Fourth one. Now we're on the second row. Forgiving terrorists is God's work. Mine is to send them to him. Fifth one. When a human stops wondering, it's time to die. 6. If needed, we can teach a lesson ourselves. 7th. Russia doesn't get angry. It gets focused. 8. You have to follow the rules always, not just when someone grabbed you by a pair. 9th, we are ready to accept any challenge and win. 10th, got out without a right, get hit on your head. And 11th one, pre-last, Russia's borders are never ending, limitless. And the 12th, final one, this is right bottom corner, if a fight is unavoidable, you've got to hit first. And those are the chocolates that he gave to the U.S. delegation in the United States, in New York, in Witkoff. Brought it and, paraded around. Dmitriev then, afterward, tweeted, quote, had a very productive and constructive meeting with great Representative Lula. Remember? Luna. She's very focused on bringing together our Congress and their Duma, equivalent of some type of Congress. Now, he continues, she's been a strong voice for dialogue and peace. She's also organizing a meeting between U.S. Congress members and Russian Duma to encourage parliamentary dialogue. Blessed are the peacemakers. So Congress will be flying to Moscow, to Kremlin, to meet with Duma, and Duma will be coming to Washington, D.C. Why is nobody focusing on this? I mean, they're bringing you this. It's not about chocolates. It's not about the branding. It's about the message. They put it on goddamn chocolate. Eat it or suck on it or whatever. And then with Luna, I mean, this is a lunatic adventure. We're going to stick with Russian topic for a little bit. Hi, Lynn. Hello. Good job. Put mediocre man in charge and perhaps intimidate China, and they look pathetic. Yeah. Morgan says, I wouldn't eat anything from Russians, right? I wouldn't even touch it. I mean, yeah, Novichok works even with the wrapper, with those sayings and whatever the packaging is. I want to also stick with Russia and talk about what Norway warned us about over the weekend. Again, there's no coverage on mainstream media. There is no coverage in our newspapers, magazines, nothing. Nada, right? So Russia is amassing nuclear arsenal in the Arctic. And by the way, our next Honest Plus deep dive this Friday, we're meeting on Zoom, but the next Friday will be about the Arctic, and we're going to do case studies and what is literally happening there. Here's the latest. Norway's defense minister warned that Russia is massing nuclear weapons and submarines in the Arctic Circle, preparing for possible conflict with NATO. Quote, Russia is building up on the Kola Peninsula, where one of the largest arsenals of nuclear warheads in the world is located. The nuclear weapons are not only pointed toward Norway, but toward the UK and over the pole toward Canada and the US, said Mr. Sandvik in the Telegraph. He also said it separately in the Norwegian media, so please don't see Telegraph as a sort of a source of disinformation, which quite often they are, but this was from Norwegian media initially. He noted Russia's expansion of the Northern Fleet, established in 1733, now used as a testing ground for new nuclear and hypersonic weapons. Can you imagine how far back this goes? Despite heavy losses in Ukraine, estimated at 1 million soldiers, the Northern Fleet is intact, Sandvik warned. He added, quote, we are the eyes and ears of NATO in this area. They're testing new weapons like hypersonic missiles and nuclear-driven torpedoes. It's the most important surveillance in NATO. The melting Arctic ice has opened up new shipping routes, including the Bear Gap and Guyuk Gap, which NATO views as critical supply lines in a future conflict. Quote, Putin needs to control the Bear Gap to use his submarines and deny NATO access to the Guyuk Gap, Sandvik said. Even after Ukraine, the Arctic may become the next main security theater. So, then the Russian Secrets, which is sort of investigative project, reports that Russia has constructed an underwater surveillance network in the Arctic, codenamed Harmony. The source for this is German government and their Tagesschau, which is their main source of news. So the Russian Secrets Investigative Project reports that they have put this constructed underwater surveillance network in the Arctic. The system uses drones, sonar arrays, fiber optic cables, and underwater microphones to track NATO submarines and ensure the stealth of Russia's nuclear fleet. Western officials believe the network, developed by the Russian defense conglomerate Kometa, which is Comet in Russian, was built with Western-made equipment, acquired through the Cyprus-based company Mostrello. And if you listen to the latest deep dive on who's sponsoring Russia's aggression, you know which type of role, a pretty big role, Cyprus does play in their shadow fleet. So, the Cyprus-based company Mostrello, which purchased more than $50 million in gear from NATO states between 2013 and 2024. In September, a German court sentenced Alexander Shnakin, a Russian-Kyrgyz businessman who acted as a middleman, to nearly 5 years in prison. So, in this regard, we see how Russia is working on the Arctic, regardless how much they meet with Trump in Anchorage and wherever. So at this point, I think we have to really pay very close attention, do deep dives, and report on the actual news that our partners, specifically partners in the Arctic like Norway and Sweden, and also Germany obviously is connected, are reporting. And I don't really, maybe you do, but I haven't heard any coverage in US media. And I think I'm lagging again. So let me restart a quick second. I'll be back. All right. So, maybe the system goes, enough. I don't want to hear any more about the Arctic. But anyway, last thing on Putin. So Putin boasted that and claimed that they have successfully tested the 9M730 Burevestnik, which is nuclear-capable intercontinental cruise missile capable of evading missile defenses. The missile reportedly flew for 15 hours and covered 14,000 kilometers. And to fast forward, Trump was asked about that test. He wasn't asked about the Arctic, because I'm sure our reporters and White House press poll people don't really pay attention to that. But they asked him about this, and Trump said, well, he should focus on the war that should have just lasted a week, hinting that Russia should have won in a week but didn't. Why don't you condemn them invading Ukraine in the first place? But okay, I digress. He said they should be focusing on the war that should have lasted just 1 week instead of testing missiles. Then he was asked this, anything, in terms of like more sanctions will follow. And he said, I don't know. These sanctions that were imposed will still have to take effect, right? November 21st for US assets, November 28th for British assets, for Rosneft and Lukoil, the major oil companies in Russia. So let's see if that will manifest itself. Now, domestically, Kamala Harris obviously is making a tour. She's talking about the book she's written. And in one of those conversations, she hinted that she might be willing to run for president again in 2028. Here's a clip.
When are they going to see a woman in charge in the White House?
In their lifetime, for sure.
Could it be you?
Possibly.
Have you made a decision yet?
No, I have not.
But you say in your book, I'm not done.
That is correct. I am not done.
So, and we're getting those hints from Harris, we're getting those hints from Newsom, but Governor Newsom is above anybody. I feel that in the Democratic Party, who's meeting the moment, saying what it is and how it feels, and what he's doing, and still saying and admitting that it's not enough. What he is capable of doing, and the system is being destroyed from within, and so. Let's see if, that will be even a conversation, but let's hope it will. Now, meanwhile, Trump obviously arrived in Asia, but before he did arrive in Asia, he stopped in Qatar, where he, the plane was getting some gas and refueling, right? And there he let Emir of Qatar and the Prime Minister of Qatar, with whom I will be attending a conversation on Wednesday, the day after tomorrow in New York. He let them board Air Force One and have a conversation. And here's the video.
Mr. President, and as soon as I found out that he's coming to refuel, I said, I'm not going to allow him to take off unless I come and say hello to him. So thank you very much, Mr. President, and it's always great seeing you.
Well, the Emir is one of the great rulers of the world, not just the Middle East. He's beloved and respected by his country. I don't know what's more important, being beloved or respected. Both. You have a preference? Because you have both. You're one of the few. And the Prime Minister has been my friend and a friend to the world. And we've done a lot together especially in the last year. What we've done is incredible. Peace to the Middle East. And they were a very big factor in it. So I just want to thank you. I was thinking, we're landing here, we're going to fuel up, and it's such an honor to have you on the plane. I know you don't do this often.
Never, first time.
I don't think he's ever done this, actually. But it's an honor. We have a great he's a great ally. They are a great ally, and these are two great men. And as long as we're together.
Edward, thank you. Why the F is king being allowed on F1 or Emir or whatever? Yeah, right? For the first time. Yeah, for a reason. For the first time. And Morgan says, what's the deal with American politicians and their book tours? I understand with the book tours and politicians, but now worse. I think this is worse. Journalists are writing books with breaking news of what happened during the Biden administration. Like, isn't it your job to report on the goddamn actual broken news in real time? That is your job, not to withhold this information until you can sell people a book. Tony says, oh my God, Tupac is rolling over his grave. Yeah. Trump later posted on Twitter shitter, giving Hamas 48 hours to return the bodies of Israeli hostages, which they did not, no. Meanwhile, over 1,000 South Korean protesters rallied in Seoul against Trump's upcoming APEC summit visit, and this happened during this weekend. Also, once in Asia, Trump danced. He landed in Malaysia and danced, and if you missed out on that, Here's the video. He also signed a peace deal between Cambodia and Thailand, which originally was actually resolved in July. And I'll have a more readout on that. But, well, he declared at that signing, the United Nations should be doing this, but they don't. They turned off my teleprompter when I made a speech. They're good at that. The escalator wasn't working. Meanwhile, Cambodia's Prime Minister has since nominated Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. But altogether, what came out of those meetings is that the White House confirmed that the Asian, ASEAN, the Asian, right? Not the Asian, summit, right? Everybody who's part of the summit, the tariffs on U.S. goods will be reduced up to 0%, but U.S. will retain 19% tariffs on their imports, meaning U.S. buyers will still pay more for Southeast Asian goods. Trump there said, "We're doing numbers nobody ever thought possible. By the end of the first year, will be over $20 trillion worth of investments into United States." Just to fact check, U.S. GDP currently stands at $30.49 trillion. So this year we got $20 trillion. Meanwhile, our whole GDP is $30.49 trillion. Who gave us $20 trillion? But meanwhile, in Malaysia, instead of playing national anthem, Trump was greeted with this. You get the point. And Edward says, my Albion friend at coffee shop laughed when I asked about the peace deal from Orange Nero. Yeah. And I mean, look, I posted on Friday because when they signed the deal and whatever, and I said, remember Cambodia and Thailand. Cambodia and Thailand. He will say he did this deal. This will be next thing he will claim he solved. And just 2 days later, exactly was the whole thing. Peace in the Middle East, exactly. Or peace of a Middle East. I think that is the slogan these days. Gaza, Trump Gaza, get a piece of the Middle East. Not peace in the Middle East. And spelling is a thing. Now, Trump's Air Force One gaggle that I experienced at 3 a.m. You're welcome. Here's short, very short. Right? Because I want to show you clips and whatever. Spent a lot of time on that. But altogether, Rubio was there. Greer, which is our trade representative envoy. Bessent was there. And Trump, obviously. So on Japan, Trump said he's excited to meet the new prime minister, but declined to name dinner attendees. He's hosting their business dinner and said he's very, very excited, but said that he doesn't want to disclose the business people that will be in attendance. On China, he said, I like Xi and he likes me very much and he respects the United States. Bessent said, or Bessent as they called him, said talks were conceptual, but a TikTok deal could be signed soon. So Bessent said that no, in fact, there is not even a concept of a deal. They might be discussing this by the end of this year, but nothing will be signed this week for sure. Then Trump said, well, but we might sign the TikTok deal because Xi Jinping just approved of it. On South China Sea incidents, those with the helicopter and the plane, he said there could have been bad fuel, but he will be briefed on that soon. And that's more than 12 hours later. We still don't know. Now, on Canada, he said they've been ripping us off for a long time. Obviously, he is pissed that Canada used a Reagan ad that is factual, but he calls it fake and AI generated, and adding that he doesn't plan to speak with Prime Minister Carney anytime soon. On Brazil, he wished Lula a happy birthday, but said that maybe nothing will come from those talks. And in fact, just to get the feeling on how that meeting went down, here's a video of Trump talking in front of Lula about Bolsonaro. Take a look.
How are y'all feeling about Mr. Bolsonaro, Mr. President?
Well, I've always liked him. I feel very badly about what happened to him, really. I've always thought he was a straight shooter, but he's gone through a lot.
Is this on the agenda today?
He's gone through a lot.
Is this on the table today?
It's none of your business.
And Lula is like, you talk about Bolsonaro, I'm here. So Trump said, well, I think they're paying 50% tariffs, I guess. Yeah, I guess too, because when I want to buy coffee, that's exactly what I'm paying. So anyway, ultimately, Lula said, hey, Mr. Trump, can we stop talking to journalists because we're wasting our time? I have other meetings to attend, and so do you. We're wasting our time. Trump turned to media and said, oh, you have such boring questions, and then let them go. Now, on Russia, he said they should be, not testing missiles, but taking care of the war. They should have lasted a week, which I mentioned earlier. On Elon Musk, surprisingly, he said that he likes him. He's a good guy, but he had a stupid, stinky moment, but I like him. And then he said he can tell you about that. I'm not sure I want to know. On AOC, for some reason, he started talking about AOC having low IQ, same as Jasmine Crockett. And then he started talking about the test, I guess, a very mental people test that he did in the hospital. And he said, well, it starts with a giraffe and then it gets difficult. Let AOC go against me with the test. And she followed up and on Twitter shitter, she said, Mr. President, did they also let you draw a clock? And how did that go down? Asking on behalf of 340 million people. Then he talked about MRI. He was asked about MRI, and he said that he got a perfect MRI at Walter Reed recently. And several doctors pointed out that nobody gets an MRI with no reason for it. So it kind of let us think that perhaps there was a reason to get an MRI. But he was asked about a third term that has been sort of very much openly discussed these days. And presented with the option that, how about J.D. Vance as president? And then he sort of like makes you vice president, and therefore you can't get a third term or whatever. To which Trump said that I'll be allowed to do that. People would like that, but that's too cute. It wouldn't be right. I don't like cute. Once again, the detailed report from that gaggle is on the website. Please take a look. You can read all the quotes and all the factual information there. Then Trump met with, he arrived in Japan. Let me show you how that went down. No red carpet, no dances. Take a look. Just waited to show you there was no red carpet or dances, and then he walked to his helicopter. Then he met, indeed, with the Emperor Naruhito. Sorry if I mispronounce it, but this is the palace in Japan. Take a look. Which led to this picture, and Trump wondering, is that a palace? Where is my gold? But in Japan, Trump met with the emperor and at the Imperial Palace in Tokyo, describing by the White House as courtesy meeting. Afterward, Trump told reporters he is a great man. So probably he wondered, where's the gilded stuff? Where is the gilded stuff? But On another note, Prime Minister Carney of Canada obviously was also at the same summit. Here's a video of his arrival. Take a So, but here's sort of the review of what happened there. I keep posting Prime Minister Carney's schedules. He was also in South Korea. No, he did not. South Korea. He was in Malaysia. My apologies. He did not have any conversation with Trump, but he had a lot of conversation with all the members of Asian Summit. He then went to Singapore, and then afterwards he will be going to South Korea for the APEC summit. He also will be meeting with Xi Jinping in South Korea as well before even Trump meets with Xi Jinping. Now, Canadian Prime Minister Carney wrapped his visit to Kuala Lumpur announcing a $500 billion investment deal with Southeast Asia and $25 million in technical assistance to support a Canada-Asian free trade agreement. Quote, "We're going to double our non-US experts over the next 10 years, maybe sooner," Carney said. Meetings included leaders of Laos, Malaysia, Vietnam, and the Philippines, plus European Consul Guterres was there, and South Africa representatives. Canada also announced $226,000 to expand BlackBerry's cybersecurity center into an international hub. Carney met with Petronas CEO Tengku Mohamed Taufik on LNG expansion, reinforcing Canada's energy role in Asia. Quote, "We're working together towards Canada-Asian Free Trade Agreement, unlocking new economic opportunities for both our nations," Carney added. And certainly, he will be touring other facilities and ports in Singapore. He then goes to, South Korea, and there's no protest against Carney. And so he will be meeting with Xi Jinping as well. And it is touted, I don't want to stress anybody, but it is sort of presented from different sources that there will be a major trade deal with China between Canada and China. And so certainly Carney's team is leaking that information for whatever reason. Again, there's just 2 days to wait, so we'll report on that. Very interesting, 'cause here I have my, while I was rebooting, I found my G7 Kananaskis pin. And an interesting thing, because I flipped it, and it says made in Canada, because I was expecting made in China, but no, made in Canada. Cute. All right, so national news, quick national U.S. news. California Governor Gavin Newsom says he's open to presidential run. I mean, you have to be living under a rock to miss on that. So the Democrat and frequent Trump critic said he'll give serious thought to a White House bid after next year's midterms. "I'd be lying otherwise," Newsom said, adding that fate will determine his decision. He also added that, "Look, I'm a governor, but every morning I'm waking up and I'm like, shit, I'm not doing enough. This is distraction, and just the administration is destroying the fabric that the United States is made of and from within, and what's going to happen even until 2028. So he's certainly stressing the whole, question on the election itself. And remember, Russia has elections, and Venezuela had elections too. So it's not the point that we're not going to be going to the polls. The point will be what will be the results, how real, right? Now, Speaker Mike Johnson, though, defended the Republican plan to cut $1 trillion from Medicaid, right? The big, ugly bill. But now I want you to pay attention, because what he's going to say will make you think and feel that you're crazy. But no, he did say that, and you're not crazy. Just, okay? So he says, quote, "We strengthened the Medicaid program. When we say the Republican Party is the only party that has any chance at fixing healthcare, we have demonstrated it. We put it into one big, beautiful bill. As you know, we strengthened the Medicare program. The next thing is to fix all the other components of healthcare. People are running out of SNAP by November 1st. People's premiums are going the heck up. People are losing insurance beginning January 1st. What did you fix? You cut $1 trillion from Medicaid. Trillion with the T. Anyway, a federal judge on Monday decertified a class action lawsuit brought by tens of millions of Apple customers who accused the company of monopolizing the market for iPhone apps by banning purchases outside the App Store, a practice plaintiffs said led to higher prices. And this came out about an hour ago. The Trump administration on Monday asked the Supreme Court to allow the Republican president, him, to remove the head of the government's copyright office while her legal challenge to his firing plays out. The latest battle over Trump's efforts to remove federal officials he considers disloyal. The World Series, MLB, will be decided by the end of this week. Toronto Blue Jays and Los Angeles Dodgers are tied at this point, 1-1, with games scheduled for today, Tuesday and Wednesday, and if necessary, Friday and Saturday. So, parachutists have descended upon Yosemite National Park to jump off El Capitan, during the government shutdown. The stunt is illegal and may result in $5,000 fine and up to 6 months in jail if caught. So this is like the big hoopla. Now, the U.S. Department of Energy has formed a $1 billion partnership with Advanced Micro Devices to construct 2 supercomputers designed to tackle large-scale scientific challenges ranging from nuclear power and cancer treatments to national security. $1 billion into one company that's supposed to cure cancer, update our nuclear codes and nuclear power and national security. One company, from cancer to nuclear power to national security, and $1 billion into one basket. Energy Secretary Chris Wright and AMD CEO Lisa Su announced the initiative in an interview with Reuters. Also, with a fresh directive from the president, the Department of Defense may again use an unconventional and potentially unlawful method to pay troops using unused non-personnel appropriations. Members of the House Armed Services Committee said that AIM-260 Joint Advanced Tactical Missile, the JATM program, has been delayed by 3 months due to the ongoing government shutdown. A rare public acknowledgement about a highly classified program. Also, Air Force OA, where Skyraider crashed. So we saw this in South China Sea yesterday. But here's something that also went unreported. This happened on October 23rd, right? Yesterday was October 26th. So this October 23rd, an Air Force OA 1K Skyraider 2nd or Skyraider 2 crashed near Oklahoma City on October 23rd. Both a civilian contractor and an active duty airman escaped uninjured. The aircraft was on a training mission less than 10 miles from base when it went down. Also, Secretary of Defense Hexeth has reinstated, though downgraded, an internal Pentagon think tank focused on future warfare, 7 months after dismantling the agency in the name of accountability and efficiency, according to Washington Post. And currently, again, not much reports on that, but currently the Boeing workers, in fact, 3,200 of them are on a strike. And this happens all in St. Louis, and the area remained on strike after rejecting a modified contract proposal for the 4th time. The local IAM 837 union said members voted down the airspace company's new 5-year contract by a narrow 51 to 49% vote margin. Workers at the affected plants assembled jet fighters, trainer aircraft, and bomb kits. So much to United States being a big, big store, as Trump refers to, that sells war equipment, but 3,200 people are on a strike for the 5th day. Trump is reportedly considering, let's make a guess. He has to name the bunker / ballroom that cost $300 million as of now. How do you think he's going to name it? I'll let you comment, and now we come back to that. So also, New York Attorney General Letitia James pleaded not guilty to fraud charges brought by Trump-appointed federal prosecutor in Virginia. The Justice Department announced it will monitor polling sites in California and New Jersey. So the masked man with big guns are coming to monitor peaceful elections. Consumer prices obviously rose 3% in September compared with a year earlier. Prices for a range of goods have increased in recent months, largely due to Trump's new tariffs, because obviously we are sharing the burden or even carrying it fully. The FDA approved a new drug to treat hot flashes and night sweats in menopausal women. And also interesting, the National Symphony Orchestra will now open all performances with the U.S. national anthem. And this was ruled and demanded by, of course, President Trump as part of the cultural reforms at the Kennedy Center. So you tell me, Go Jays, how do you think he's going to name the ballroom? After himself. Yes. Okay. So quick global news. Canadian Prime Minister Carney will meet, as I mentioned, with Xi Jinping later this week and says he's prepared to sit down for trade talks with Trump as soon as the U.S. president is ready to do so. But U.S. president is in his fields and said anytime soon won't work. Lynn says, really? Yeah, really, about the ballroom. China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi told U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio in a phone call that Beijing hopes the United States can meet it halfway to prepare for high-level interactions between the two countries. And by the way, Trump said, when asked about the tariffs on China, he said, I feel they're going to push us to lift those. Push you to lift those? Why did you put them in the first place? So, starting this month, China will require online influencers to hold verified professional qualifications before discussing sensitive topics such as medicine, law, finance, or education. And I think that's a pretty good idea. Influencers must present proof of training or relevant degree to post on platforms including Douyin, Weibo, and Bilibili. That's their social platforms. The policy aims to curb misinformation and promote expertise-based discussion. Can you imagine if we had that, then nobody would tell us to inject bleach and not take Tylenol, and yeah. President Trump said that Hamas has been given temporary approval for internal security operations in Gaza Strip, which is a way to hide that the ceasefire is falling, claiming the group wants to stop the problems. And on a different note, Hurricane Melissa is becoming a very serious thing. Is expected to make landfall in Jamaica tomorrow. People in Florida are feeling already some parts of it, but it's nowhere near on what is coming upon Jamaica. Meteorologist Matthew Capucci warned, quote, the NOAA aircraft that was investigating Melissa today had to leave the storm early due to severe turbulence. Now, mind you, Melissa is still intensifying. This is extremely rare. The aircraft are built for severe turbulence and extreme conditions. Melissa is truly a monster. Melissa has reached Category 5 strength with sustained winds of 175 miles per hour and air pressure of 906 mbar. The storm is beginning to turn north toward Jamaica, and if it intensifies further, it will begin to approach the mathematical limits of how strong a storm can become. And here's a video of the aircraft being inside of the storm's eye. Take a look. Thing is humongous. So this is how it looks like on the maps, and this is the trajectory that it's about to take. Obviously this was this morning. Yeah, so if you are in the path of it, please also take note, and if you're in Jamaica, we're praying for you, and we're embarrassed that we're not helping you, but we saw like like different nonprofits and different think tanks even are working on helping Jamaica and being on the ground once the storm passes. Some are already there, like Central Kitchen, were there before the storm would hit even Jamaica. So yeah, but if you are, again, even it's not expected, the storm is not expected to make a landfall in the US mainland, but still, please monitor your weather and listen to your local news in case, of anything as a consequence of the storm. Now, Vice President J.D. Vance plans to visit Kenya next month following a summit in South Africa, according to Reuters. He's going to Africa. Abuse Africa next week. So, Defense Secretary Hexas is also traveling. Today, he arrived in Honolulu with his family for meetings with U.S. Indo-Pacific Command leaders ahead of his Asia trip, which will include stops in Japan, Malaysia, Vietnam, and South Korea. What can go wrong? Chinese okay. So, also, this is in addition to the aircraft going down and the helicopter in South China Sea yesterday, but also Chinese H-6K bombers flew near Taiwan yesterday, October 26, in confrontation drills. State media reported yesterday, October 26, just days before U.S. and Chinese presidents are scheduled to meet in South Korea. Now, the U.S. military is flying surveillance drones over Gaza to ensure that Israel and Hamas adhere to the current ceasefire agreement. And Russian missile strike destroyed a 29,000 square meter warehouse and office complex belonging to Optima Farm in Ukraine, Ukraine's second largest pharmaceutical distributor. The company had operated in Ukrainian market for 31 years, and they're doing the most to make sure that Ukrainians are freezing, sitting there without heat, without medicine, without electricity, and just, begging Russia to stop. And Russia is the loser for 10 plus years at this point. Moldova has reduced tariffs for gas transit from Greece to Ukraine by 50% in a move aimed at strengthening regional energy security and maintaining Ukrainian gas supplies. And Italy announced its 12th military aid package to Ukraine, consisting mainly of artillery shells and SAMPT or SAMPT air defense missiles, according to Bloomberg. So it's better than nothing. Also, Meloni, Prime Minister Meloni, met with Orban, with Putin's best friend Orban, in Italy today, and take a look how she welcomed him. Really. She posted that they have so many like-minded visions about national security, and okay, Orban that keeps Russian gas sales afloat. Very interesting. Also, remember drones over Europe? Russia is diversifying its threats. So, Europe condemns hybrid threat balloon incursions. After drones come balloons. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen condemned the repeated incursions of helium smuggling balloons into Lithuanian airspace, the Baltic states, calling them a deliberate act of destabilization. But the European Union does not do anything to combat it, so why not? Quote, she says, Europe stands in full solidarity with Lithuania in the face of the persistent incursions of helium smuggling balloons into its airspace. It's destabilization. It's provocation. We call it by its name, hybrid threat. We will not tolerate it. Von der Leyen said that the incidents underscore the need to accelerate two key European defense projects, the Eastern Flank Watch and the European Drone Defense Initiative, to strengthen airspace surveillance and counter emerging hybrid threats. Madam von der Leyen, please use Russian assets and give Ukraine what it needs, so you can then use Ukrainian drones and defend yourself, and you can push Russia back to its shitty territory. Because whatever you're doing now, why do you stand in solidarity? Do something in solidarity. This is European Union. This is already yours. You're already in charge of this. Drones, balloons, what's next? Missiles? Ukraine is prepared to continue fighting Russia for 2 or 3 years, though officials worry the conflict could drag on for a decade, said Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk to the Sunday Times. Tusk also warned that the UK would be in the line of fire if Kremlin attacked any NATO country, saying he was shocked by the public complacency about Britain's safety. And Russia, in fact, is creating a digital wall for its citizens. The Kremlin is constructing a state-controlled communication system and forcing all citizens onto the MAX app. MAX app. It's described as a sovereign service, but everybody has to install this app. Since summer, Russians have been pressured to install MAX, from students to government employees. In Yekaterinburg, a college rector threatened to expel students who refused to install it. Authorities claim MAX is a trusted environment, but the app lacks encryption, and all communications are stored on government-accessible servers. Yesterday, 57 regions reported mobile internet shutdowns in Russia. 39 regions imposed whitelists, allowing only state-approved websites. If you don't go to Afghanistan, Afghanistan comes to you. Putin is tightening control of Russia's internet in a move reminiscent of China's Great Firewall, with expanded VPN bans and efforts to block Telegram and WhatsApp. The Kremlin's goal is to cut Russians off from Western media while flooding democracies with disinformation. Now, there's a paramilitary advance in Sudan. The Rapid Support Forces, the so-called RSF, claimed to have captured El Fasher, one of the last government-held cities in Darfur. UN officials warned that hundreds of thousands of civilians are trapped, calling for an immediate ceasefire. Pro-army militia said residents of the city continue to resist RSF control. And now to this Cambodia-Thailand border deal. I'll let you watch the video of Trump signing it and parading the signature, and then I tell you what it's about. Okay, so Trump presided over the signing of a formal peace agreement between Cambodia and Thailand, confirming their July ceasefire. The deal mandates the withdrawal of heavy weapons from the border and establishes joint monitoring mechanisms. This wasn't a war, this was a border dispute. Cambodia called it a peace deal, while Thailand described it as a pathway to peace. Trump later said, "I solved the conflict." And there's a debate over Gaza force. So Israel has rejected Turkish participation in an international stabilization force in Gaza, citing a hostile approach from President Erdoğan. But U.S. Secretary of State Rubio said that the force must consist of countries that Israel is comfortable with. And U.S. envoy Morgan Ortagus is traveling to Beirut today for talks on disarming Hezbollah amid fears that Israel could launch a renewed air war in Lebanon. So, meanwhile, Erdoğan and Starmer, as I mentioned earlier, signed a fighter jet deal. Here's the video and then I explain what it's about.
Türkiye Cumhuriyeti adına Cumhurbaşkanı Recep Tayyip Erdoğan, Büyük Britanya ve Kuzey İrlanda Birleşik Krallığı adına Başbakan Sir Keir Starmer, Türkiye Birleşik Krallık Eurofighter Typhoon işbirliği beyanını imzalayacaklardır.
what happened was that Turkish President Erdoğan and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer signed a landmark agreement for Turkey to purchase British fighter jets. Under the 8 billion British pounds deal, or UK currency, 8 billion, right? The United Kingdom will supply dozens of Eurofighter Typhoons to Turkey, making or marking one of the largest recent defense contracts between the two nations. So Turkey has placed its bid and purchase with the United Kingdom. Again, as I mentioned in the beginning, relatable, not relatable, but I report the news. You connect the dots so you can make better decisions. All right, let me check a comment. Trump is soon going to have start using his toes to count all the wars he stopped, right? Right. But as long as he can recognize a giraffe, it's all good. What I wanted to share with you, we have Sunday edition, right? Where it's a non-political newsletter and we explore things from art to culture to health and wealth and everything. So, and there I present videos that make us happy. And in order for me, egoistically speaking, not to store it on my phone, I started a new Onest No Politics account. If you're on Instagram, Onest NP, ONEST NP, and you can subscribe, and it has absolutely no political news. Where is my banner here? Yes, it's this. So if you want to subscribe, go ahead, and I'll be putting their videos that just make us happy. So I wanted to show you one of such because I always try to end on a positive note. This is a guy known for gifting flowers for elderly folks and getting a very lovely reaction. So to finish on a sort of human and wonderful and cute note, take a look at this video.
Excuse me, darling. I just want to say you're looking beautiful today.
Hi.
You look beautiful today.
Oh, thank you.
And these are for you.
Hi, for me.
Yeah, they're for you.
Hi.
Just trying to make people's days a little bit better.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no problem at all.
I haven't got the money to pay for it.
You don't need to pay for them, they're for free.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. God bless, have a great day, alright? Excuse me, darling. I got you these and I hope you have a great day.
Oh my God. Nobody give me flower, darling.
Well, today, that has changed.
Oh, baby. Are you sure I'll go there?
No problem at all. And I hope you have a great day.
Thank you, young man.
You're welcome. God bless.
Bye.
Excuse me. I just want to say you look absolutely beautiful and these are for you.
Oh, that's very kind.
That's no problem at all.
Thank you very much.
And I just want to say you look absolutely beautiful.
Thank you very much.
No problem at all.
Thank you, my dear. Very kind of you.
Hey, God bless. Have a great day. Excuse me. Can you hold these while I do my shoelace up? Thank you very much. They're nice, aren't they?
You're nice.
Thank you. You're nice as well.
I wasn't looking at the flowers.
Do you like the flowers?
Bit of a hunk.
They're for a special lady.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
She'll be delighted then.
And that special lady is you.
Oh, never.
Yeah, they're for you. No, I'm being deadly serious. They're for you.
Oh my God, can I kiss you?
Mwah. Of course you can.
Unbelievable.
That's no problem at all. What's your name?
Aida.
Aida, beautiful name, Jack.
Hello, Jack.
Lovely to meet you.
Wonderful.
No problem at all.
Oh, amazing.
And I hope you have a fantastic day.
Thank you.
Excuse me, darling. I just want to say you look absolutely beautiful today.
Oh, thank you very much.
And these are for you.
Oh, no.
They're for you. I'm just trying to make people's days a little bit better.
Oh, how sweet of you. Oh, really?
Yeah.
You give them to another.
No, there's no other beautiful ladies around here, and these are for you.
But how gorgeous. I've never had such a wonderful.
Well, today that's changed. That's no problem at all. And you got a beautiful smile as well.
I'm very touched.
That's no problem at all. God bless and have a great day, okay? Take care. Excuse me, sir.
Okay, what have you done wrong?
Was you in the army?
See?
Was you in the army?
Navy and Air Force.
I just want to say a big thank you for your service.
Thank you.
No problem at all. And I just want to say a big thank you, and
No,
these are for you.
Thank you very much.
No problem at all.
Oh, Thank you.
No problem at all, and thank you for your service.
So that's what we're going to share on Onest and Pino Politics. And this is our Sunday edition, but extended in social format because I think we need a bit of kindness on a daily. So, and thank you, Jack, for doing this. And yeah, so not only cats and dogs, but also humans can be lovely and beautiful. So on another note, if you are Onest Plus member, thank you so much for your support. We're people funded. So if you can join with any type of subscription, I will love to see you on, of course, our deep dives on Sundays, on Fridays, but also this Friday, last Friday of the month, which coincides with the Halloween, so you can dress up. I'll see you on Zoom, where we're gonna answer any questions, share off the record, off the grid information. You can also submit your questions prior to that as well. If you're a subscriber, please go to our honestnetwork.com/Onest Plus, ONEST Plus, PLUS, and leave your email, because YouTube never gives me your emails, and so I can invite you. And also, if you did cover for us the No Kings protest, I would be delighted to invite you as well. So let's have a chat and let's have a conversation there. And if you're not a member yet, check it out. Maybe you would like to join. And everything else is obviously with no paywall. So the newsletter is coming up to you soon. If you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. It's Monday through Friday, factual information. And also these live streams are usually at 5 p.m. unless there is some delay. Tomorrow will have to be at 5 p.m. because afterwards I do have another appointment as well. Lynn, hello. Yes. And the Halloween, yeah. Will be good to people, spread the love, right, Tidy Whitey? Yes. Okay, thank you so much for commenting and being here. Thank you, Tidy Whitey. Thank you, Just Lindy. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, everyone who was here and was commenting, being part of it, or just watching. I really, really appreciate you and appreciate your time spent here together with me. So I'll see you tomorrow. Have a peaceful night. Your newsletter is coming to your email in a second. And keep your head on a swivel. Turn off any news that don't make you happy. I'll be watching it for you overnight and reporting. Oh, goodness. It's already all over. So keep your head on a swivel. It's Monday. We'll make through whatever we have to make through. So make sure you feel best. Okay? Have a good night.